Your Bachmann 460 is a precision-made, full-scale model and can provide you with a lifetime of fun and enjoyment if it is well lubricated and maintained. So come with me and I'll show you how to take care of your new locomotive. It is important that you follow the recommended procedures for lubricating your Spectrum 460 on a periodic basis. Just like an automobile, your locomotive shouldn't be run without oil. Failure to use adequate lubrication on your locomotive could result in a mechanical failure, so please watch and listen carefully. We suggest that you watch the video all the way through first before performing any lubrication. Then, when you have everything prepared, perform the lubrication along with the video instructions. This way you'll be sure not to miss any important parts along the way. Bachmann has designed the 460 to be easily maintained. First, get all of the items you need to perform the lubrication. Find a large, sturdy work surface to hold your 460. A sturdy table or a workbench will do very well. You can use a thick towel or the top foam insert from the 460 packaging to act as a cushion for the locomotive. You will also need a toothpick or a thin wooden dowel and the necessary lubricants. We recommend using Bachmann Easy Lube Space Age plastic-compatible lubricants available at your local hobby retailer, but other plastic-compatible lubricants can be used as well. With your towel or foam on the work surface, gently lay the locomotive and tender on its side, or if using the foam insert, upside down. We will be lubricating these areas: the gearbox area, the driving wheel axles, the lead truck, and the Walschaerts valve gear on both sides of the boiler. We will also apply conductive lubricant on each driving wheel and lead truck wheel to enhance electrical contact. It's also important to know before you start that over-lubrication is more damaging to any locomotive than no lubrication at all. So easy does it. A little goes a long way. To begin, remove the lubrication plug on the bottom of the frame for easy access. Now take your Bachmann Easy Lube heavy-duty gear oil and place 1 or 2 drops on the motor drive shaft. Next, put a drop or 2 of heavy-duty plastic-compatible gear oil on the bearings where each drive axle passes through the locomotive frame. Moving on to the lead truck, add a drop or 2 of oil to each bearing surface where the wheel axle passes through the truck frame. And be sure not to forget the lead truck pivot point where it attaches to the locomotive frame just in front of the lead driver. This will help it move easily in either direction. Finally, put a drop of oil on the end of each axle on the tender truck wheel sets. Remember, all of the 460's locomotive parts and lubrication points can be seen in the exploded view diagrams included in the instruction manual. For the next segment, we will be using Bachmann's Easy Lube heavy-duty gear grease. This lubricant won't sling off or dissipate at high running temperatures. The best method to apply this material is by using a thin wooden applicator such as a toothpick or a dowel. Place a small amount of grease into the gearbox through the lubrication port and onto the main gear. Double check that you have lubricated all of the required parts before going on to apply the conductive lubricant. Bachmann Easy Lube Conductive Contact Lubricant enhances electrical conductivity and will decrease the amp draw of your 460 locomotive. Just put 1 drop on each drive wheel axle where it passes through the frame and on each driving wheel tread. Also put a drop on each lead truck wheel tread. As a side note, you should perform this electrical conductive maintenance every 5 to 6 hours of operation or as needed. When operating outdoors, under high temperatures, and other environmental conditions, there is a lot of friction, wear, and evaporation. Friction is metal's worst enemy, so be sure to follow a sensible lubrication schedule. Now bring the locomotive and tender to an upright position and lubricate all bearing surfaces on the valve rod, piston rod, valve guides, Walschaerts valve gear, and crank pins with a small drop of oil. Don't forget to do both sides of the locomotive. And remember, do not over-lubricate. Now your 460 locomotive is ready for track testing and many years of pleasant enjoyment. We at Bachmann recommend that you break in your engine by running it with a light load at slow to medium speeds, checking to see that everything on the locomotive is operating properly. This is the way prototype locomotives were brought into service. Don't forget to fill out your warranty card and send it in as soon as possible. And remember, the key to maintaining your 460 locomotive for long life is to keep all the parts well lubricated. But too much lubrication is just as bad as no lubrication at all. Enjoy your Bachmann 460 locomotive, and be sure to check out the entire line of Bachmann large-scale trains at your local hobby retailer.